Hello students, this is Professor Faiz Raut from Jain College of Engineering, Department of MBA. In Strategic Management, I'm in Module 5, which is about strategic implementation. In this module, we have uh, strategic implementation along with some introduction to innovation and innovation environments also. Okay, so two things have been combined in this module 5. From the very beginning of strategic management, we have understood what is a strategy. Okay, what are the external environments of a business which the business needs to take care about it, and what are the internal resources and capabilities which the business have, which the business can capitalize on that in order to improve their operations and other things. Then in the previous module, in the fourth module, we studied about the different kinds of strategy: the business strategy, corporate strategy, retrenchment strategy, and no change strategy, and many kinds of strategy we have studied. So in fifth module, that is actually the final stage, you can say, or else the one before the final stage, which is implementing those strategies. So whatever strategies the business has decided, looking at the external environment, looking at the internal resources and capabilities, and understanding what the strategic management is, the later part is about implementation of those strategies in order to get the result. So how, what are the steps in implementation of the strategy, and how it goes about, is what is being explained in this module. So strategic implementation, to begin with, uh, it is a process of turning plans into action to reach a desired outcome. Essentially, it's the art of getting stuff done. The success of every organization rests on its capacity to implement decisions and execute key processes efficiently, effectively, and consistently. So strategic management is basically turning whatever you have planned, okay, into action. So in this module, in strategic implementation, you are going to execute whatever you have decided, whatever you have studied from past, in the past four modules, whatever the company was doing, was studying, was planning. Now it is going to execute that. Okay, and in this execution process, the company will try to achieve the goals which they have set. Okay, so the steps in implementation process begins with that. First step in the implementation, strategic implementation process, is to set clear goals and define key variables. Okay, it is as this is the first step. It is very straightforward. The company needs to identify the goals, what as per the whatever strategy they have kept, so that they will have a clear picture, so where they are going exactly, because from the vision, mission, the values, uh, then the goals whichever the company has set, so it should be very much clear to everyone in the company, as it has been communicated to everyone in the company. So it will be very clear. And then if the goals are set clearly and the variables, key variables, has been defined properly, then everyone can work towards that goal using that variables, uh, and the implementation can be very much effective. The problem sometimes happen, or the common mistake is that sometimes company set goal so high that no one is able to achieve that goal. The target is so high that the people who are working in the company itself gets demotivated, that the target is so high, will not be able to achieve. So that leads to a problem. Okay, so the goal should be attainable, not very easy, not too difficult, but it should be attainable. Okay, so that the confidence or the morale of the people who are working towards that goal will not go down. Okay, so first is about setting goals and defining key variables. Second is about determining the roles, responsibilities, and relationships. Okay, when you have set the goals, set the target, then you are assigning the roles, you are assigning the responsibilities, to various departments, to various people in the organization. And then so that when you are assigning proper goals, you are creating accountability for that person or that department. And when you create accountability, then there will be no confusion. If something goes wrong, then the person who has been assigned that task, he will be asked about that. And the person who has assigned the task, he will know if he fails or that thing doesn't go right, then he will be asked the question, he will be accountable. So that's the reason determining the goals and setting the responsibilities and giving accountability plays a very important role. And that's the reason. And also the relationships, because a strong relationship, because as a manager, if you are telling people to work, and the way you are interacting with the people, with your employees, that will help to achieve the goal very fast, or it'll have no errors and something like that. So a kind of a better relationship if you have with managers, the manager having with employees, the higher managers having with the lower managers, so the relationships plays again an important role. So the second is about determining roles, responsibilities, and relationships. Then the third one is about delegation of the work. Okay, so in delegation of the work, now you have assigned the roles and responsibility. Now you give the work so that the process gets started. You delegate the work, set the deadlines, you have set the target. Now you set the deadlines when the work should get completed, so that if there is another work which is pending after that, that should not get delayed. If work A is supposed to end in 10 days, so it should be about to end in 9 or 10 days, so that work B can start from the 11th day onwards. Okay, so the deadlines should be set, and everything, whatever implementation process is happening, is as per the vision, the mission of the companies, and the objectives which has been set, and the entire working which has been happening is based on the core values of the company. Okay, if the company gives the core values of the company is accountability, or the core value of the company is trust among the customers. So the company workers will be working towards keeping in mind and the core values. Okay, so the third one is about delegation of work. Okay, you will be assigning the work to your employees. The fourth one is about executing the plan, monitoring the progress and performance, and provide continued support. Now after you delegate the work will start, the execution of the plan will start. Sorry, the execution of the plan will start. The workers will start doing their work. So when the workers are doing the work, if they are stuck anywhere, if they are facing any problems, the manager or the senior should always be there in order to support them if they are stuck, or if there is any confusion, in order that the work shouldn't stop. So that's the reason the monitoring of the work, whether the work is going in the correct direction, whether work is uh, if there is any problems in the work, or any issues arising between the people, or something has been given to third party or outsourced somewhere, or if there is an internal problems, whatever is happening, the monitoring should be done properly, so that the work is not getting hampered, or there is product is not getting any flaws in product is not happening. So the monitoring of the work should be done, and the performance should be checked, because a few people will be performing better, few people will not be performing better. So a good manager will keep a track on who the which worker is performing better, so that he can be slightly appreciation can be given, or something like that. So a performance monitoring should also be there, and then continued support should be there, so that if any error happens, there are people who will support us, who will help us in order to solve these issues. So again, the very important one, execution. And then the fifth one is about taking corrective action, adjust, revise, or as necessary. Now once the work is going on, and and there are issues or something like that, definitely the monitoring and the support is there from the managers. But if the worker feels and the manager understands that the work which has been carried out is very tedious, or the worker is not able to do it properly, or it is very time consuming, or there is certain modification which can be done in the work, in the machine, or during the process of the work, there can be some adjustments or corrective actions can be done, so that the work can be improved, and uh, the work, if it is lagging or if it is taking a huge time, then there can be some adjustments or some revision can be done by the managers by consulting the workers. So क्या कर सकते हैं इसमें, कुछ changes है, या फिर we need to do something, we need to give you a break, or the shift timings can be changed, or more people should be required on this work and less on some another work or something like that. So there can be changes while working, because work should not stop in one department and it is continuing in another department, or for that matter the work should not stop basically. So that's the reason a corrective action and some modification can be done even after the planning process, because during the planning process, as the plan suggests, it should be 100% effective. But while the work actually is happening, then there can be slight issues, so certain changes can be done. So the management should not be rigid कि नहीं नहीं ये एक plan किया है ऐसे ही करना है, तो it will be difficult for worker, and if they are so rigid, then the work will not be that effective. Okay, then the sixth is about get closure on the project and agreement on the output. Okay, now everyone is working, there are corrective actions which has been done, monitoring is done, support is being provided. Now uh, when what do you say, when the product is about to get finished, during the final product, everyone should know how the final product will look like. Okay, as it is mentioned, everyone on the team should agree on what the final product should look like, based on the goals set at the beginning. When you have successfully implemented your strategy, check in with each team member and department to make sure that they have everything they need to finish the job and feel like their work is complete. Okay, now the work is being done, their changes has been also done. If there is any flaws or any issues, then after that, once the work is about to get complete, they should know that the work is getting completed and when they need to stop the work. ठीक है, रुकना किधर है, खत्म हो गया पूरा काम हो गया, लिख कुछ ड्रॉ कर रहे हैं, लिख रहे हैं, बना रहे हैं, कुछ भी कर रहे हैं, सो दे शुड कम टू नो व्हेन टू स्टॉप, हाउ टू स्टॉप, एंड व्हेन द वर्क गेट्स completed. Okay, so that's the thing, that the closure of the project, how it has been closed, and what is been remaining after that, that should also be checked upon properly. And then the final thing is about conduct a retrospective or review how the process went. Then you have a meeting, or and discuss among your employees how the work was there, any what difficulties we faced, how those difficulties can be avoided when we do it next time. Okay, how was the process, who faced no, who felt that it was a burden, or who felt it was very easy, or anything, any feedbacks from the employees, feedback from the workers, any suggestion which can be which we can change, or anything we can do. So that is the also important step. So okay, because if you want to do a continuous improvement, if you are doing the same work repeatedly without any changes, without any improvement, then you can become obsolete, or you might take more time or something like that. So the thing is, whenever you're doing a work, there should be a slight improvement every after every process, every day or every week or so, or after everything which you do, there should be a slight improvement, and continuous improvement should be there. So that's the reason a kind of a retrospective review is done. Okay, you can take an example of any manufacturing firm or anything. Okay, basically if you are cooking food also, okay, so using that, you are setting a goal, okay, defining the variable which you need, okay, having a clear picture. For example, if you're drawing something, okay, when you're drawing something, what you are supposed to draw, you have got a maybe A3 size canvas, In that canvas you will have a clear picture what I am going to draw on that clear on that, and what variables do I have. Okay, I'll not think of something uh, very difficult which I'll not be able to draw. So a common mistake which can occur. Okay, a drawing which you can easily draw it on that canvas. Then you define roles, responsibilities and relationships. Then you can say who will draw what part of the work, and who is responsible, what are the relationships. If it is a manufacturing process, what are the production team is supposed to do, what the work in inventory team should be doing. If someone is drilling, तो drilling में क्या responsibility है, cutting में क्या responsibility है. So all those things, and then the delegation of the work. After you assign the responsibility, you give the work and you tell them to start the work. Okay, and then once the work is started, you keep on monitoring the progress, the performance, and you provide provide continuous support for any issues or any problems which is arising. And then you can take corrective actions if it is necessary to revise or adjust some processes, to change some processes during the work itself. You can do that, and then you tell them how the work should be completed. Once the work is completed, how their workstation should look like. If you're cooking the food, how after when to switch off the gas, or how to serve it, or whatever it is, how the closure should happen. Okay, then finally the review of that whatever we have done. So that is about the implementation process. Okay, so 7 basic steps of implementation process which the company needs to follow. Okay, so next thing is about organizational structure, how an organizational structure looks like. Well, I'll do it in the next part.